Hello everybody. Today we will talk about accuracy and correcting mistakes. Let's look through first of all the plans of this topic, correcting mistakes and accuracy. First of all, how important is it for our students to be accurate in their language use? What does it mean? It means that while they are using both written or oral speech, they tend to make mistakes. It is natural position, of course, and how they use their language in written or oral way without doing any mistakes. We will talk about this. And second topic is how can we achieve accuracy? There are some different rules for this, achieving accuracy without doing any mistakes, and how does error correction help? Error correction can be in different ways. For example, while talking your students, you can correct them, or after or before making some type of speech, you may explain them how to use their language without making any mistakes. And the next topic is how important it is for our students to be accurate in their language speak. What do you think, students? First of all, let's talk about, would you agree or disagree with the following statements? The statements are there. It's not important for students to spell English words correctly. Yes, and as long as their meaning is clear. Let's talk about the meaning here, and it's not important for students to pronounce like a native speaker, as long as they are easily comprehensible. That depends on just words which can spell so easy, and definition or translation of it should be easy for students in that case, and it's not important for students to use correct grammar as long as they are getting their message across. If you answered disagree to any of these above statements, and can you say why it is not important, or it is important for students using these type of statements while they are speaking? Accuracy is important because from the point of view the hearer, reader in accuracy, even if it does not attack meaning, it's distracting, uncomfortable, may lower respect for a speaker or writer, or reader or hearer, of course. And because from the point of view the speaker, writer inaccuracy may lower self-confidence, lower self-respect as a language user or as a language hearer or listener or language writer, of course. And because from the point of view of the teacher, professionalism means teaching the languages as the best we can, not compromising on careless or unacceptable usage. The B part, let's talk about B part of using sentence without doing any mistake or correcting mistakes here. Achieving accuracy. Research indicates that to achieve accuracy, learners need communicative language use. Communicative language use means that you can contact with others, or first language learners or second language learners, and any type of foreign language speakers. You can communicate without doing any mistakes. Some explicit discussion of forum or rules here. First of all, practice. Probably the optimal teaching model combines these communicative tasks with timeout for focus on form, including practice exercises, and focus on accuracy as well. Rule explanation leading into both mechanical and communicative practice, but also time for communication on its own, focus on accurate from on its own. Communicative tasks fluency, it is on their own, and language work, accuracy, on its own, of course. Communication plus accuracy. This is task-based instruction. The basis of lesson is a communicative task. Yes, lesson tends to be communicative task because of while explaining or understanding some points, may teach bits of grammar, vocabulary, spelling before, during, or after. But the focus is always on the communicative task. communicative task, what is discuss how far you agree with the following statements. The teacher should correct when I make a mistake. It means that some of your students, while talking or giving some example, depends on one topic or the same during the lesson that we just explain it, your teacher should interrupt you while you are speaking and correct your mistakes. Is it useful or effectless? Agree or disagree? And second statement is the teacher should ask other students to correct when I make a mistake. Do you agree with this statement or not? It means that you explain some topic or answer some type of question during your classes, and one of your classmates try to correct you while you were speaking or after finishing your sentences. Do you agree or disagree? Let's look next one. The teacher should get me to correct myself. This is also a good option for you. It means that you say some type of sentence or information, depends on your topic, and your teacher asks you, please correct yourself. There are some mistakes that depends on you. This is also one approach for correction of mistakes. Do you agree or disagree for this? And next one is the teacher should make me rewrite essays after she's corrected them. Yes, it means that teacher herself correct you and ask you to rewrite your essay, leaving out the mistakes that you have done before. Do you agree or disagree? The next statement is the teacher should not only correct me but also explain why what I said was wrong. This is good option. Do you agree and disagree? Let me explain it. It means that you made some mistakes while you were preparing or doing one type of task that is given by your teacher, and the teacher explain you first of all why it is mistake for you, and again why you shouldn't do or you shouldn't use these words or grammar here, and your teacher let you to understand it and do not do this mistake again. Do you agree or disagree? Communication plus accuracy, communication plus fluency, reading and understanding the sentences and their meanings, discussing how far we agree, coming to a consequences. It means that how far we try to catch the meanings of the sentence or correct ourselves. This is discussion that we are doing. Coming to a consequence means that you can conclude or to sum up this type of sentences, possibly rewriting the statements so that we all agree with them. Then for accuracy, let's have a short talk about accuracy here. Learning the vocabulary. Example, the use of make with mistake, get so make so, or do the same thing. Work on grammar. Example, modal verbs should, reflexive pronouns like, myself, or other types of grammar, or questions, or what, which, and comment. Based on authentic language use puts communication first. Accuracy as a means to an end. Fashionable task-based learning, but difficult for learners who need to feel safe or may not in the long term. Led to coverage of the most important language items. Second one is accuracy plus communication. We start with a language point. We do some mechanical exercises. We then progress to more communicative work. Grammar practice, conventional form focused exercises, and discrete items. Let's have some examples to make it clear, much more clear for you. The first one is a car is than a bicycle. What should we do here? We use here grammar, right? Accuracy grammar is a car is faster than a bicycle. And second example is Chinese is much more difficult than English, or more difficult. We can't put er at the end of the sentence depending on such type of grammar rules here. The next example is a lion is bigger than a dog. It's clear for us, like, because there are such some simple grammatical sentences here, and be full text. Glenda, I don't know which dress to buy, the red or the green. Sally, well, the red one is good or expensive, the green one is much more cheap. Glenda, yes, one is much prettier. We can add ear at the end of the sentences. Which do you think suits me better? Here, comparative version of well will be better. It's so simple and clear grammar for us. But anyway, it is one approach for correcting mistakes here. Next one is grammar practice. Moving towards meaning. Moving towards meaning that compare the people in this family. Use adjectives big, fat, thin, small, big, tall, short, old, young. Alex is taller than Jill. Karen is smaller than Alex. To complete the sentences, first of all, you should have information about the members of your family or siblings of this family, right? Let's try to complete it. Karen is smaller than Jill. Jill is taller than Karen. Ben is bigger than Alex. And next one is Sally, where Alex is taller than Karen. Jill is smaller than Ben. You should both know here such type of information that depends on this family as well. And the next one is you should be aware of little grammar, simple or basic grammar, to complete the sentence without doing any mistakes. Grammar practice third. Focus on meaning. Choose one of these pairs of items. How many different ways can you think of comparing them? Use the comparative form of the adjectives. Comparative form means that you can put er at the end of your adjective here, or if it is more than double syllables, you should put more before the word here. You are going to compare with other words, right? Let's continue. A radio and a computer, a rabbit and a snake, playing football and reading a book, Harry Potter and Professor Dumbledore. Grammar practice 4. Focus on communication. Debate. Debate based on comparison. Example, discuss the following motions. Computers are better than books, or it's better to live in the town than in the country. Or comment based on inauthentic language use. For example, old-fashioned or double P here. Puts accuracy first, communication second. It means that according to the meaning, anyway you should accuracy first of all, and then you can collect these words second. But appropriate for learners who need to feel safe, based on systematic language syllabus. Communication only. This is third type of this approach, just getting learners to use the language for understanding or conveying messages, not following language work, and respectively. Listening to stories, listening and responding, it means that you just not listen, and you should respond or answer or reflect the ideas according to the audio that you have heard. And reading stories. Short stories or much more complicated stories included here. And reading and responding, it is much more complicated than the first one, reading stories, because after reading you should respond or give your conclusion or tell your ideas about the plot of the story. And watching movies, it is much more interesting one than others. And productively. What is productively? Talking, communication, games, exchanging information, creative or transactional writing. And comment, authentic and communicative. Often fun and interesting, motivating, but very variable amount of learning. Virtually impossible to check how much learning has taken place. Some activities are not appropriate for people who like clear-cut and structured tasks. The clear-cut means that you can just leave out the words that are written in mistaken, given as a mistake here. Or The structural tasks means that you should put your sentence one structure type of this grammar rules here. And first one is accuracy only. Accuracy only means that there should be no mistake, just your own focus, give the accuracy in the sentence. Talking about the language or doing activities that focus on getting in it right. Examples: tip of the day, isolated language points and grammar explanations, learning lists of vocabulary for a test, dictations, drills, grammar explanations, this type of grammar, but some basic or simple ones here, and dictations. Dictations also helps you to find out how much or how good accuracy you have, and drills, as you know. Pronunciation work, you can use different type of activities to come across pronunciation work and comment. Inauthentic, maybe boring, leads to theoretical knowledge of the language. As you know, theoretical theory is much more complicated or difficult one than others. This is why it can be a little bit boring here. And no direct contribution to the fluency, right? There is no important rule for fluency in such type of work, pronunciation, without avoiding making mistakes. Students tend to be lost their fluency while they are giving a talk. But the good side or advantage type of it leads to understanding of how this language works, satisfying for some pupils, very easily assess it, and indirect contribution to communicative ability or interim conclusions. If we wish our learners to become both accurate and fluent in English, we need to provide both explicit and implicit teaching and learning. Both meaning and form focus, of course, it's important here, both on thinking and cognitively and demanding language production. And we need to organize this within a balanced methodology that includes different teaching process, because learners are different, and even the same learner may learn in different ways at different times. It means that you have different levels of learners in your class. You should use both approaches here. And language items are different. How does error connection help? How does error correction help here? What different kinds of correction are there? And which is the most effective? Which types of correction on the whole lead to better uptake? It means that you should give your whole attention for choosing the approaches here according to your language learner levels here. This is simple resist was most often used, but least uptake. Recasts may not be perceived as correction at all. The best results are gained from corrective feedback plus some negotiation. And the correction during communication paradox it is. If we correct during communicative work unobtrusively so as not to harm communication, the correction may be ineffective. If we correct more effectively using explicit feedback and processing, we may damage the communicative value of the activity. What is the answer here? Professional teaching judgment taking into account. They are the overall goals of the course, how crucial or important is error is. And it means that if there is a little mistakes while your student giving your performance, you shouldn't interrupt them. Just wait at the end till the end and try to give your opinions after having the performance, of course. And the next one is the frequency of the error, the level of the student, the personality of the student also very urgent, and the motivation of the class overall to learn. As a conclusion, I can add this. You should correct your students' mistakes after, of course, after having their performance or after answering, to motivate or encourage them to the class or to the topics that you are going to teach your students. That's all. Thank you for your attention.